beautiful, and welcome to your yoga practice. Today's yoga practice, we're actually going to be utilizing a chair. So you can do it on the go, do it at a hotel room, or even from your office when you just need a little bit of a break. So I invite you to go ahead, grab something that you can utilize as a chair, as a base, and let's flow. So to begin our practice, we're actually going to take the chair, and we have two positionings of a chair typically. This is going to be a little bit more challenging because it's a little bit lower, or you can use the back of the chair. So figuring out what feels right for you today, we're going to go ahead and slowly start to walk out and find a little bit of a modified downward dog here. And what we're going to do is just what I like to call wag the tail of the dog. So we're just going to begin our practice by finding a little bit of gentle motion here. And this should feel nice and juicy. If this feels too tight on the back of the hamstrings, give me a nice micro bend at the knee, and it's going to loosen that a little bit for you. So just finding a little bit of playful movement, perhaps walking the dog. So we're gonna walk out right and left. And that's gonna just help release and loosen up the body as we begin our practice. And maybe it feels right to kind of step out a little bit deeper as we start to feel a little bit more comfortable. Remembering that throughout our practice, you are the best judge and guide of what feels right in your body. And then I invite you to find a little bit of stillness here. So go ahead and send the hips out nice and wide as we're going to release and pull the hips as though they could reach to the other side of the room. And it's going to have a little bit of a traction here on your spine. And if it feels like it's a little too tight at the hamstrings, a friendly reminder just to bend those knees. And breathe. Beautiful. Slowly walking your way and being mindful here to utilize this chair. We're going to go ahead and find the back of the chair. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this chair as a base here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and find a little bit of this engagement here. So we're going to send the tailbone down into the earth, pulling up through the rib cage, placing our hands on the back of the chair. And I invite you just to feel this little bit of subtle difference as we find 3 or 4 little pelvic tilts. Allow the energy to splay to the back and then engage that tailbone, sending it down into the earth, and feel the difference here. So what does it feel like when I'm engaging my tailbone, when I'm pulling up through my core? And in yoga practice, we really want to make sure that we're always kind of creating that little gentle tuck of the tailbone down into the earth. Now I invite us to go ahead and feel what it feels like to engage the legs. So what we're going to do is tighten the legs, tighten, 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 and release. Tighten, 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 to all the way up into the glutes now, and release. Tighten, 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 up into the glutes, and release. Squeeze and contract, and release. Squeeze and contract, and release. It's a gentle, subtle movement, but you can really feel all your muscles here working and engaging. So I invite you to remember that we have this autonomy, we have this ability to isolate into the body and fix and mold and change and transform even the small little muscles down into the calves. So remember that this body-mind connection is so important. And the more that we activate it, the stronger it becomes. And now I invite you to go ahead and utilizing this back of the chair as a balancing system, we're going to rise up our heels off the floor. Maybe they come up a 1/4 of an inch and lower back down. Rise up and lower back down. Maybe each time we find a little bit more height, we find a little bit more confidence, and we lower down. Inhale, rise. And lower down, remembering to engage that core, sending the tailbone down into the earth continually, and lower down. Inhale, rise. Feeling perhaps a little bit of warmth growing in those calves. Beautiful jaw beauty. And lowering down. So I invite you to go ahead, and we're going to step back with our right foot this time, and we're just going to find a nice gentle calf stretch here. So I'm going to bend forward in my left foot, and the chair is going to provide stability for me here. So I'm going to bend nice and generously into this left knee. My knee is going to stay in alignment with my ankle, and I'm going to breathe. If this feels too intense, maybe today we're up here, and that's okay. Feeling what feels right for us. This is really what it's about. They always say your ego is not your amigo. So we don't need to go crazy with these postures. We just need to meet ourselves where we're at and trust in this journey and this process. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side. Stepping back, finding your own degree, what feels right for you, bending nice and generously, keeping that knee over the ankle, using the chair here for stability. Wonderful. And I invite you throughout practice, if you feel your mind starting to wander, see if you can pull yourself back to this task at hand. They always say that meditation and yoga, it's not about having no thoughts in your mind, but it's about having fewer and fewer, and over time we get more clarity and the permission to just do one thing at a time, and that can feel like the greatest gift. And coming back, stepping together, and we're just going to continue on with a little bit of strength training here, and we're just going to send our energy down into the left foot, growing it like we have tree roots. This is working us up to having what we call Vrikshasana or tree pose, but for right now we're just going to start to become more confident in our postures here. So we're going to release the right toes, off the mat slightly and lower. Release, coming to a point and lower. Now we're going to go ahead and release, and perhaps drawing those toes 2 or 3 inches off the floor and lower down. Now I invite you to really engage in pulling up nice and tall and proud here, and see if you can challenge yourself to raise that leg up nice and tall and proud as it feels right for you, And this is going to be stretching out those hips. A little bit of leg work here. Beautiful, last one. And let's go ahead and switch to the other side. So now I'm going to grow in those tree roots into the right side. I'm going to send that energy down. I'm going to allow the left toes to point up and lower. Point up and lower. Now I might challenge myself to allow those toes to float above the mat and lower down. Perhaps they come up 2-3 inches, lowering down, engaging the core, feeling that strength building in the legs. Beautiful. And over time, we'll get to those balancing postures, which are so good for our mental clarity, for our strength, for our balance. And then, as always, we want to shake it out, release, shake, 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 shake. Let's go ahead and bring our chair to a seated position. And we're going to inhale the arms up. And we're going to cactus those arms, and our chest is going to go tall and proud to the sky. Inhale the arms up. And cactus those arms. Inhale, arms up. Cactus the arms. Feels good, right? Inhale up. This time we're going to find a little gentle spinal twist. My left hand is going to come to my right side, and I'm going to look over my right shoulder. And release. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, my right this time comes to the left. Inhale, elongate, and looking over my left shoulder. And release. Wonderful. Inhale the arms up. I'm going to come for a little bit of a modified half moon here. So I'm going to place my hand on one side. Left hand is going to arch up and over, playing with a little bit of placement of my neck. Maybe I'm looking down at the ground. Maybe I'm looking at the sky. What feels right for you? And switch opposite direction. Inhale, reaching up and over. And coming back into neutrality here. Just finding some gentle neck rolls halfway up and then the other. Should feel nice and juicy here. Wonderful. Dropping that chin to your chest this time, rolling up nice and slow. We're going to go ahead and come back into a downward dog, taking that chair, standing up. And this time, just like at the beginning of practice, we're going to be nice and kind and compassionate. We're just going to feel into what feels right for you. But I invite you to see if you might have a little bit more length now in the body as you send the hips back and you send the arms forward. And almost as though you could imagine that over time you could create an upside down V. As always, if we need to, we have a gentle micro bend of the knee and breathe. Wonderful. And when you're ready, slowly but surely walking your way up. We held that one for a little bit, so take your time to rise up so we don't get that sense of dizziness here. And we're going to go ahead and sit in our chair once more. We're going to extend the legs out in front of us. Inhale the arms up. And exhale, we're going to bend down and concave the back here, just creating this nice rounded spine, and then rolling on up. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, release. Bending the spine here, rolling it on up. Last one. Inhale. Exhale, release. Rolling on up. And we're going to place our feet right underneath us now, sitting at the edge of our chair. And we're just going to find some little bit of modified cat-cow. Inhale, gaze to the sky. Exhale, release, gaze to the tummy. Inhale to the sky. Exhale, release. Beautiful. Inhale, gaze to the sky. Stay, hold for a moment. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, gaze to the tummy. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Coming into a neutral spine, imagining as though there's a golden cord pulling up through the crown of your head, sitting up nice, tall, and proud, rolling those shoulders back for me slightly, gently tucking your chin so you have this nice elongated spine. I invite you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart as you take 10 deep intentional breaths, feeling the sensation as the air travels in through the nose, through the chest, and ultimately the belly. And then the gentle contraction at the belly as you exhale, air releasing from the belly, the chest, and ultimately out the nose. It's believed in yogic philosophy that we can trigger the parasympathetic rest and digest state through this breathing practice. So this is just an opportunity to allow all this work to calibrate and integrate into our body, inviting ourselves to be still, to be present, to be at peace. And when you're ready, slowly opening your eyes, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. And I hope that you enjoyed this practice with me today. I really appreciate you coming and bringing your best foot forward. And I hope that you feel a little bit more flexible, a little bit more at peace, and you bring this energy with you off the mat today. Thank you for joining me. Have a beautiful day.